The San Antonio Spurs are engineering something that could redefine how teams approach defensive basketball, and the rest of the league may not be ready for it. What began with the selection of Victor Wembanyama has quickly evolved into a carefully constructed vision focused on defensive versatility, high motor intensity, and long-term sustainability. Wembanyama, a 7 feet 4 inches phenomenon with freakish agility and shot-blocking instincts, is far more than just an athletic marvel. He's the foundation of a system designed to neutralize offensive innovation. The Spurs have made it clear that their intent is not to build an exciting offense, but to turn every opposing possession into a grind. And what's most terrifying for the rest of the NBA is how young this team is, with their core defenders averaging just over 21 years of age. They are still developing physically, learning the pace of the professional game, and have yet to even peak, making their long-term potential nearly limitless. This commitment to elite defense didn't happen by accident. Over the past few drafts, San Antonio has maximized its lottery opportunities, choosing players not just for talent, but for fit within a broader defensive framework. They began with Wembanyama, the rare prospect with generational upside and an immediate defensive presence. Wembanyama changes shot trajectories simply by existing in the paint and can recover to the perimeter to contest three-point shooters, a rare skill for someone of his size. That kind of positional flexibility at the center spot is the dream of every defensive coach, and San Antonio has it. But instead of resting on that one foundational piece, they doubled down on the vision by building around him with long, switchable wings and guards who embrace perimeter defense with energy and discipline. Carter Bryant is a perfect example of the Spurs' foresight. While he wasn't a standout on the offensive side during his college career, his defensive instincts were undeniable. Summer league play revealed the extent of his impact. He made life miserable for opposing guards and wings, often switching seamlessly between assignments, disrupting passing lanes, and closing out with precision. Against Cooper Flagg, a player many anticipate will dominate in the NBA, Bryant refused to concede an inch. He trailed him through every screen, forced turnovers, and even blocked him in transition, an act that symbolized how quickly Bryant was adjusting to the NBA level. What separates him is not just his size and athleticism, but his motor. Every possession is treated with equal urgency, and his on-ball pressure is relentless. In a league where offensive output often overshadows defensive commitment, Bryant's effort and awareness stand out starkly. His presence on the wing allows San Antonio to experiment with schemes that most teams can't afford. They can afford to switch 1 to 4 without sacrificing rim protection, because Wembanyama's mobility allows him to recover from the perimeter to the paint almost instantly. This kind of spatial coverage is nearly impossible to game plan against. What's more intriguing is that even if Wembanyama is pulled to the perimeter, the Spurs have wings like Bryant with the wingspan and timing to rotate and contest at the rim. San Antonio's design isn't about masking weaknesses, it's about creating interchangeable strengths across all positions. The defensive spacing, reaction time, and chemistry developing between these young players have the makings of something historic. Stephon Castle is another cornerstone of this system. As the 2024 Rookie of the Year, Castle wasn't just a scoring or playmaking standout, he was the team's most aggressive perimeter defender. His ability to stay glued to ball handlers, navigate screens, and even provide help-side rim protection is a rare skill set for a guard. He routinely recovers on broken plays, never gives up on possessions, and showcases an elite feel for defensive angles. Castle plays with the kind of physicality and awareness that often takes guards years to develop, yet here he is, barely into his second year, already leading by example. His pairing with Carter Bryant gives San Antonio two ultra-versatile defenders who can guard up or down, switch confidently, and recover with intelligence. Together, they create a perimeter firewall that makes clean possessions a rarity for opponents. The acquisition of De'Aaron Fox added a critical layer of experience and offensive responsibility, but it also served to solidify the team's defensive posture. Fox may be better known for his scoring bursts and clutch moments, but his defense has steadily improved over the years, culminating in a league-leading number of steals in the 2023-24 season. These weren't lucky deflections or misplays from opponents. They were a result of his calculated pressure, lateral speed, and active hands. He stays low, fights through screens, and takes pride in making life difficult for opposing guards. On a team where defensive identity is paramount, Fox fits in as both a disruptor and a leader. His transition from offense to defense is seamless, and his veteran presence allows younger players to feed off his tenacity without feeling the pressure to shoulder all the responsibilities. This synergy becomes even more dangerous when Dylan Harper enters the picture. Chosen with the second overall pick despite an already crowded backcourt, Harper proved quickly why San Antonio made that move. His summer league debut following a groin injury didn't feature highlight scoring plays, but it did did showcase his elite instincts on the defensive end. His chase down block, where he timed his leap perfectly to deny an easy transition bucket, wasn't just a moment, it was a statement. Harper brings a unique blend of length, lateral quickness, and reaction speed that allows him to cover space in ways that are normally reserved for elite veterans. He reads passing lanes with precision, reacts before the ball leaves the passer's hand, and has the burst to finish plays with authority. His defense isn't about effort alone, it's calculated, poised, and often disruptive. San Antonio's philosophy of prioritizing defensive upside, even at the cost of immediate offensive production, is a gamble that appears to be paying off. The roster is filled with players who stand between 6 feet 5 inches and 6 feet 8 inches, all boasting plus wingspans, athletic mobility, and switchability. These players aren't just long, they know how to use their length. They close out hard without fouling, trap in the corners, rotate with intent, and recover with discipline. The team doesn't just force tough shots, they make even the simplest passes feel contested. In many ways, it resembles the defense-first culture that powered the Tim Duncan-led Spurs to 5 championships. But what makes this version even more threatening is the modern twist. These players are faster, more agile, and groomed from day one to prioritize defensive execution. The integration of multiple high IQ defenders with complementary skills allows the Spurs to run rotations that would crumble on most teams. Whether it's Bryant playing the 3 with Sohan and Castle rotating through the wings, or Harper joining Castle and Fox in a pressure-heavy 3-guard set, every possible lineup San Antonio can field seems built to stifle. They collapse driving lanes, they hedge screens, they funnel scores into low-percentage spots, and they rebound as a unit, and more importantly, they love doing it. The mindset of this team is as important as the physical gifts. They are not just young and talented, they are invested, disciplined, and selfless. Victor Wembanyama's rim protection is the anchor, but it's the collective buy-in from the perimeter that makes it impenetrable. His ability to guard pick and rolls, drop into the paint, or even switch onto wings creates freedom for the others. Carter Bryant's perimeter hustle, Castle's on-ball pressure, Harper's anticipation, and Fox's recovery speed gives San Antonio a defense that not only reacts to plays, but forces offenses to deviate from their original plans. It's no longer about responding to a scheme, it's about taking control of it. As these players mature, both physically and mentally, the chemistry among them will only improve. Defensive timing, communication, and trust are often the hardest elements to master in the NBA, but San Antonio's young core is already ahead of the curve. They rotate instinctively, communicate in switches, and double with precision. The result is a defensive rhythm that suffocates opponents before they can settle into any kind of flow. It's not just defense, it's a psychological toll on the opposition. When every pass is pressured, every drive is met with contact, and every rotation is exact, offenses eventually unravel. Add to that the fact that these players are still developing offensively, and you get a picture of what San Antonio's full potential might be. If Carter Bryant becomes even a league average shooter, he transforms from a defensive specialist to a two-way threat. If Harper builds on his vision and creation, he could become a complete guard capable of both initiating offense and locking down scorers. Castle's power-driven drives already create havoc, and if his shooting touch improves, he might turn into one of the league's most complete guards. Fox is already there, capable of scoring at all 3 levels while offering solid defense. And Wembanyama, with a few more years of development, could very well be one of the most impactful players the league has ever seen. The Spurs aren't building a team that can compete, they're building one that can dominate. Every move made in the past few years suggests a deliberate strategy, one that values longevity, fit, and culture over quick returns. They understand that offensive runs win games in January, but defense wins titles in June, and this group, molded in that belief system, plays like it. They aren't just trying to win now, they're trying to create a sustained run of excellence that could rival any era in franchise history. In an NBA landscape increasingly defined by offensive firepower and highlight reels, the Spurs are reminding the league of something fundamental. Defense still matters, not just as an afterthought, but as the core philosophy of a winning team. And they're not just showing it, they're living it. From the locker room to the court, with every blocked shot, every contested jumper, and every well-timed rotation, San Antonio is crafting a new era, one possession at a time. This isn't a rebuild, it's a revolution. And if things continue as they are, the Spurs won't just return to playoff relevance, they'll redefine what it means to be elite in the modern NBA.